In this video, I'll give you the exact strategy I've used to attract thousands of newsletter subscribers for free or even at a profit in as little as 7 days. If you're an entrepreneur who is writing online, this is really important. You can't be stuck with the chaos of social media where timelines move too fast to attract new clients and you don't even own your audience. Now, newsletter growth is notoriously difficult, but with this strategy, you don't need a ton of time, you don't need to be an expert writer, and you can repeat it every couple of months, serving your current readership, but also attracting a load of new readers into your world. So, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's dive in. First, a quick story. Last month, I was reading Poor Charlie Almanac, so it's Charlie Munger's best ideas, and one of his most popular ideas is to repeat what works. And it got me thinking what sort of problems I was struggling with in my business, and my newsletter is shrinking, okay? So the growth had completely stalled throughout the year. Now, we were making more money, and so that's always a good thing, but, you know, I'm a writer, I like to see everything go up. How have I managed to grow my newsletter in the past? And it hit me like a ton of bricks. In January, I ran an experiment and ended up getting 1,500 subscribers for free. And then did I repeat what works? No. I got dumb, I got distracted, I moved on chasing the next shiny object. And so last month I thought, okay, let's run a new experiment. We ended up getting close to 1,000 subscribers, but this time round, I made about $4,000 as well. That's what I'm going to show you today. There's 5 simple points to get through, and as I mentioned, anyone can run this. So let's have a little look at the first. So your first step is to create an authority asset. So what an authority asset is a resource that's usually better than your competitors' paid stuff. You give it away, usually in exchange for an email. Now, this goes deeper than a lead magnet, okay? Because we need a really compelling reason for people to act now. And we have 3 ways that we can do this. So there needs to be a reason why, and that's exclusivity, scarcity, and urgency. It's got to be bloody good, it's got to be rare, and they need to act now. And so the best thing for you to build for this experiment is a timed challenge. So in my first one, it was a 30-day writing challenge, and that's where we got over 1,000 people to come. This time round, it was a 14-day business course. Again, still framed as a you will get X result in a certain amount of time. And that's so much more appealing than something like download my ebook or get this collection of templates. We really need an important reason to act now, and you're going to see why in just a moment. But before I do, let me give you a secret tip, which is point number 2, make your words work harder. So my January experiment with the 30 writing tips, I didn't actually write a single new thing for that. I took everything from another product that I had built, which was my paid newsletter, and extracted the best parts, rearranged a few things. I might have tweaked the copy a little bit and then put that together there. So this 1,000 subscriber thing, I think took about 2-3 hours to prepare for. For the 14-day business course, which was called The Business of Writing, it was actually a part of my new book, Magnetic Writing. I hadn't written it yet, but I was like, okay, this is going to force me to write out a very brief version of my book, and now I'm just editing that and expanding it into it. And so my tip here is that you cannot be constantly stuck in 0 to 1 mode. If you are, you're going to be stuck on the ground floor for life, okay? You have to make your words work harder. Think of them as robots that work tirelessly day and night to grow your brand and business. What do you already have lying around that we can quickly repurpose into a challenge? Have a little think and let's move on. Oh, before I do, by the way, my book Magnetic Writing will cover a lot of these sort of strategies in depth. It's designed to help you grow your business by writing online. And so if you're interested in that, there's a link to join the waitlist below. If you leave a little bit of information, you'll be sent an exclusive chapter. So the next point then, we're going to tap into other people's reputation. The authority asset is already a fantastic way to serve your current audience, so we can actually give it to them too. But because you've created something useful, you can then go and take that to people who are serving a similar audience and be like, yo, bro, well, don't bro if you're not a bro. You're like, hey, I've created this thing that's going to be super useful for your audience. They don't have to pay. You can promote it in your newsletter. They're going to get a ton of value as a result. Any entrepreneur worth their salt will want to do something like that. And so you can go and find 5 to 10 people and start reaching out and doing this. Now, this is just a quick side note. This is why I don't actually sell many advert slots in my newsletter. Instead, I found a tight group of entrepreneurs that I like, that I respect. We swap trades all of the time. And so if you don't have this sort of network, you may find that this is a great way to start building it. But once you've got a few people, you can run this together and you can do some swaps this way. It's a really powerful way to grow together. Now, here's the trick to doing this well. We need to make it easy for people, all right? So one of the mistakes people make is like, hey, will you promote my stuff? They have to think about what to say. They have to think about the journey afterwards, all of that. Create a document that has the copy that they can use, the links that they need, what's gonna happen next, all of these things so that they don't have to think about it, right? You really wanna be a person that's fun to work with. Now, if you don't have this sort of network available yet, start bloody building it. But there is a way that we can circumvent it, or even if you want to get even better results, we can start using a bit of money to make this happen faster whilst making a profit. So let me explain the final 2 points. So pay to play. What do I mean by that? Well, you've created an asset that solves a problem. And when you do that, what you're going to find is there's always people in your audience or taking this stuff that want to work closer with you, especially if you build something good, which you should, because quality is the only way to compete. And so inside this offer, you want to have a way to make money, right? And so the way that I did it with the business of writing, which was the most recent one, is that throughout I mentioned my products. So obviously I have a product suite. We've got maybe 4 or 5 main products. And there's an email on emails. I meant, by the way, if you want to dive deeper, magnetic writing. And then at the end of the 14 days, I sent one email out based on what people did or didn't have and said, hey, just so you know, that thing was running for 2 weeks. It's running for another day. So if you want to pick stuff up. And as a result, we actually had I think we made about $6,000 from that, but I had reinvested some of the money, which I'll speak about in a moment. Now, you might not have a product suite, and that is completely fine. The simplest way to do this is to create a time-based offer based on the problem that this challenge is solving, because people love to have some one-on-one support. So for example, if you say, I'm going to build a 30-day weight loss challenge, then there's going to be a limit. Say, okay, well, I'm going to be taking on 5 one-to-one clients for 3 months of support, where we guarantee we help you drop 20 pounds and get shredded by the summer. Or if you have something like a land your first date challenge, you can have a coaching thing where you're helping these people actually get laid. And if you do have that, let me know. But alas, I get distracted. What you can then do is look for newsletters that serve a similar audience, go up to them and ask if you can pay for an advertising slot. So for example, I ran an advert in Justin Welsh's newsletter. And if you don't know Justin, he has about 200,000 subscribers. I ran it just before the business of writing. So we got all these new people in, and then I went through the business of writing, which got rid of a lot of people that aren't interested in what I do. So it's a nice filter. Plus we made some of that money back. Now I can actually show you what this looks like here. So as you can see, generally, see this black line down along the bottom is that my newsletter is slowly shrinking over time. By the way, don't worry so much about that. A newsletter is not about who leaves, it's about who stays. It's meant to be an exclusive membership area. So if it's shrinking, you're just getting rid of people that don't want to read your crap anyway. But you can see at the start here, we had one day with 431 subscribers, then 85, 42, kind of leveled out a bit. And then as we approached the challenge, which ran on the 2nd or 3rd, we get a nice burst of subscribers. So I did add it up. It was about 960, I think. That is something that I could then repeat every sort of 2 to 3 months, reframing or just using something else. So as I mentioned, that was $2,000 with Justin, and we made about 6,500. So a profit of about 4K. And that was within the first 2 weeks. The really cool bit about this though is the long-term building of trust, right? When you have so many people take an authority asset, it completely changes the way that people see you, particularly if you are telling stories throughout about the way that you serve clients. And so I had some people reach out for coaching offers after, which I didn't have available at the time. And I have plans on launching more offers, and I have no doubt that the business of writing is something that is setting up for long-term growth. And so this is why you want to do something like this. Instead of just running ads to a newsletter that's just a quick ebook, we want to make it special. We want to make it a big event. We want a way for people to pay you more. And this just leads me to a final strategy that's really going to help you get the most out of this. And so we're going to talk about how to make your words work even harder. The first thing that you want to do is throughout the challenge, collect proof. Okay, how are you getting on? Are you enjoying this? Do you find it valuable? At the end, you want to send another email, be like, what did you think? All of these compliments you're going to save, and then you get to start posting about that on social media. That's just going to generally build your brand and create more authority. But if the thing is super popular, we can then think, how can I take what we've just done and repurpose it elsewhere? As I mentioned before, this could be something as simple as, let's do it again in 4 months' time. Really, really hands-off work. What I decided to do, because it was very popular, is we turned the business of writing into an ebook, and then we took the ebook, we attached an upsell 1, upsell 2, and an order bump, just purely repurposed from my other stuff. So we have a couple of courses, we have some swipe files, and then we took the thank you page from when people would normally sign up to my normal lead magnet and created a sales page instead where people can buy the business of writing, and it's 14 lessons for $14. And so now we're going to make a certain proportion of sales based when people just sign up, followed by a welcome sequence, which is about 2 weeks long, in which we continue to promote the business of writing, but also mention my other courses. And then I usually run a promotion every month, sometimes twice. So by the end of 30 to 60 days, we'll be at a profit based on the people that we've just paid for. So the exciting part there is that I'm no longer relying purely on social media content to grow my newsletter. I get to pay people to build my brand for me. And so what I did was I went back up to Justin and gave him $22,000 and gave another creator about $10,000. And now they promote me in their newsletter once a month, going through that funnel. And each time they do that, I can clearly see the metrics, right? Is it converting well? Do we need to add more, maybe more email sequences, maybe a different promotion? And so within the next sort of 3 to 6 months, we can guarantee that we're advertising at a profit. So give the strategy a whirl. And by the way, the whole thing depends on your ability to write good emails. And so I actually recorded a video showing how you can do that too. And you can watch that here. Cheers.